Okay, thank you all for joining. Thank you all for connecting. First, I must apologize for the late start. I think you all have seen there are a lot of shutdowns because of this Magulifcation week. We've had even feedback on the continent and in the diaspora, peoples whose social media platforms have been shut down for whatever reason. We can tell you that. But we thank you all for connecting and joining from wherever you are. Please make sure you click and share and invite one another on this third day on the Magulifcation week. Yes, we have very important information. We have top guests that will be sharing this conversation with us today. But also we have the reason why we call it Magulifcation week. We're going to break it down to you. And so that each time that we celebrate the life and the legend and our messenger, you pick at least a word home with you. So I'll just give you that are connecting time to share, and I'll also give Patrick Kasarim, our social media expert, some time to cross-post on all our existing platforms before I officially start. I want to thank all of you. It is not easy. I mean, I think I just lost weight in these 2 days. No African anywhere on earth is sleeping. None. All of us are awake because every day we keep getting new informations coming in, disturbing incidents, and yeah, it becomes more obvious that it is not easy for Africans worldwide. It is not easy to have lost. I don't even know. It's not easy. Good. Once more again, welcome to all of you that are joining the third day on the week of Magulifcation. Wherever you're joining us, I bring you warm greetings from Professor PLO Lumumba and the PLO Lumumba Foundation. I bring you warm greetings and condolences from Dr. Arikana Chikomborikwa. I bring you condolence and warm greetings from the ambassador of Tanzania and all the African ambassadors in Europe. I also bring you condolences and warm greetings from the Pan-African Daily TV team. And I also bring you warm greetings from Africans worldwide. Today we are on the third day of the Magulifcation week. Now, a lot of people have been asking, why Magulifcation week? Magulifcation is the education according to His Excellency John Pombe Magufuli. So now we know that our classrooms are going to be Magulifcation. Yes, it is the education according to His Excellency John Pombe Magufuli, who just departed to join us or to join our ancestors. And that's why we're using this slogan. We have lost a great leader, but we have gained an ancestor. I want to thank all of you who signed in yesterday on on the show with King Maponga Joshua. And one thing that he said that was very pertinent and evident is Africans. This is the time. We will mourn, but we have to wake up and understand the first thing that we need is education. And that for that reason, we are on the Magulifcation week, the education according to His Excellency Dr. John Pombe Magufuli. Now, what is the message? The three key things that we have to learn today about his passing away or his teaching is Africans have learned that he was the president of the poor or for the poor. Yes, he was the president for the poor. We have never seen any president that would be not celebrated, that would be mourned. It's just 3-4 days. But I can tell you the hell is breaking loose. Not only citizens even losing their life in Tanzania. We had an incident reported to us this morning. And we would share videos with you about women that are weeping. Like you can see this crowd here in front of me. You also saw videos of a woman that just collapsed. Even the public viewing. I mean, I don't know which president will be celebrated and honored by his own people, by Africans worldwide. He came, he saw, he united. We're getting guests from all over the continent, but also from the diaspora. When did that ever happen in our history? When was the first time that we connected our people in the diaspora and the continental Africans? Now, a lot of people would be so surprised. Why the diaspora, particularly those on the continent? Because when we say diaspora, most Africans on the continent always think about their brothers and sisters on the continent that traveled to the West. No, it is not only that. Those are migrant diaspora. Those are migrants. We are talking about your brothers and sisters that were taken into slavery. And none of you have any idea about them. History never taught us about them. Now, history started twisting and telling us they're Haitians, they call Brazilians, they're Mexicans, they're Venezuelans, they are West Guinea Papau, they're New Guinea Papau, they are UKs, yeah, they call them Black British, they call them Black Europeans, they call them, Black Americans, they call them Jamaicans. And now all Africans start wondering. And so when you see people that are your brothers, they could have been your nephews, your uncles, your aunties. They have their DNA connected to you, but they were abdicated into slavery. And this is the first time in history that an incident that we lost a great leader on the continent and we're connecting the diaspora. That's why today we're going to have a guest. Professor Bayina Bello is the princess from the origin of the Yoruba lands, but she's an Haitian, born and raised in all her generation in Haiti. And she is out there as the biggest voice for the Blacks in the Haiti. And now we all know about the Haitian Revolution and all. Magulifcation Week is the history or the education according to Magufuli, but not only him, but all our ancestors that were gone before him. We're talking about Marcus Garvey. We're talking about Nkrumah. We're talking about Thomas Sankara. We're talking about all of them. So we all summarize this on the week of Magulifcation. And this is going to go down into the history of Africa, where sons and daughters of Africa worldwide, not only on the continent, not only Tanzania, not only East Africa, not only the government of Tanzania. Now you don't even own him anymore. It is a son and a president and a leader of the whole world, of humanity. Yes, get it right. That is the message on the Magulifcation week. We're not going to be identified by countries anymore. We're going to be identified by the leaders that lead from the heart of their people, from the leaders that show us the way, that would die for us, that would take a bullet for us, that say, you Africans, you can do it by yourself and with what you have. Yes, that is the Magulifcation week. Now, the message, like I said, three core messages was, and we get all the testimonies according to his project, he was a president for the poor because he also was a poor. And we all know, all of us, 70% of Africans are the so-called poor. That is us. And we all came from the poor. So that's why this president is so honored, is so celebrated, is so uplifted. Africans are broken. When was the last time we lost a president and people cry and give up their lives and die? When? It gives us a reason, and it is a call for all our leaders and all our leaderships and all you Africans in leadership positions, even not in leadership positions. When is the time that you will leave, you will depart to meet your ancestors, and people would cry, and because they have a statement, you lived for them, for the poor. That is the message of the 21st decade. For the 21st decade of the Africans. People and Africans who live and die for the poor, for their race, for humanity, for Africans themselves. Yes. The second message is, this is an African president, a statesman who taught us that you Africans can do it. You can do it with what you have. You have the raw materials, you have the necessary resources. You can do it. And that's why I bring it and I join it again to the message for the poor. For the poor. Why was he so concerned? Who was he addressing? That he is working for the poor, that Africans, you can do it. He was not talking to the rich 2% Africans because they can do it without you or me. They can do it with their foreign partnerships or business partners worldwide. They're more comfortable. Yes. But he was talking to the 80, I think 90% of Africans, not the 2%. Okay? So you see, you represent the majority, and it means the majority owns you. So in a nutshell, we can say he was a president of the 90% of Africans worldwide. Do we have a right to say so? His work speaks for himself. They speak for himself. So it is not about the talking. What would our words speak for us? He said it. I know you will cry the day I depart because you would realize that I gave my life up for you. Now, we also know biblical words, and those Christians, or those of us that are Christians, you know, talking about Jesus came and died for you and took your life with him. What is the difference? What is the difference for a president that will lay down his life? Does it mean Jesus did not have shortcomings? No. Does it mean that His Excellency John Magufuli Pombe did not have shortcomings? No. But it just means that his shortcomings, are not visible. They become irrelevant. So whether you choose to hate him or like him, you don't have a choice. He did it for the majority. So I want to thank all of you. That's the message number 2. He taught us on Magulifcation that you can do it. And he was talking to the poor, to you that are jobless, to you that think that, your life is gone, to you who think that you can give up, to you who think that you've been abandoned, you've been a trash. No. He taught you that you can pick your life and you can do it by yourself with what you have. So what does the poor mean? It means what I have, I design my life with it happily, peacefully, lovingly, forgivingly, happily. And so when I'm going like him at the age of 61, He did not cry. No, he already prepared. And now we have a new president that was sworn in. Which government have we ever seen that the transition immediately took place according to the Constitution? Which one? It is the same thing, whether it's a leader or you, even a parent in a home, or you, even in a community. Are you prepared? What legacy do you leave? Immediately when you go, is there going to be a passation? Immediately. Immediately. How many of us, when we pass away now, we start looking for, oh, where do they keep the wheels? You know, who is going to succeed? How many of us are prepared? How many? This is the week on the Magulifcation. That's the education of Magufuli, His Excellency, Doctor, Son of Africa, a messenger, sent and blessed. The third message that I want you to take here while we're waiting on our guests to connect with us is the intertrade. He talked about the intertrade. Africans, you can intertrade among yourselves. Nothing is stopping you. Don't even bet on the fact that, oh, I don't have a passport. I don't have a this. No, we can trade. When we look at the boundaries before even we were colonized, those boundaries are still there. There were no boundaries. And we walked from east to west. We had a professor that actually is working on that process to show you Africans again how you can trade among yourselves without waiting for any railway that will connect you. No, you will still use the ancestral margins or geographical ways that they all traveled, be it by rivers, be it by boat, be it on canoes, whatever they use to work with it, we are going to use it. So he is the president of the poor, and it is the 90%, and it is me, it is you, it is the comfortable. So I want to thank you. But before we go, just take a look. Just take a look at the caravan, at the video of the caravan that accompanied His Excellency, and the public viewing. And even we'll just show you this couple of videos in a while I'm preparing the guest to bring him on the show. Thank you very much.
mafanikio huibuka fitina, hatutetereki, hatuyumbishwi, Watanzania pamoja daima.
Unaifata sasa ni Monkey na Baby Mada.
Shujaa mpambanaji uliyeshinda vita ya ofisi. Ala. Shujaa mpambanaji uliyeshinda vita ya ufisadi. Tanzania ilikuvesha taji ya uzalendo na upendo. Magufuli baba, baba, nyenyekevu, mwaminifu, mcha Mungu. Magufuli jembe, nenda. Magufuli, nenda. Magufuli, nenda.
Tunakuombea Mungu, milango kafungua, watoto vijana wazee, tunalia, kiza kinene kimeshaingia, simanzi imetutawala, kutwa kilio, 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 kilio.
Okay, we will have to cut that short because Professor Baina is here. And we are ready to start this conversation. Good morning to you, Queen Professor Baina.
Good morning to you, Queen Susan.
Thank you very much. Yes. I am very honored and grateful on behalf of all Africans to have you share this commemoration with us today. How have you been taken out, or how have you been feeling? Did you get the news in the Haiti, and what is going on?
All of our countries are in difficult times, and we have to be getting stronger, more determined, more courage. And with every soldier who falls, wherever on the planet, we have to pick up the strength, pick up the courage to continue the fight. Because in fact, it's just one fight. Whether in Haiti, in Tanzania, anywhere else, it's the same fight. And if we understand that, then we're just concerned with picking up wherever a soldier falls and carrying on. So,
thank you very much, Prof. I mean, he is going to be laid in state on the 25th of March. And 25th of March, we also know there's a very important event going out there in Haiti. Now, what a coincidence. Is there anything about that?
Well, 25th of March is the battle, actually it's the 24th, is the victory of the Battle of Quetapio. But we will be commemorating it on March 25th. So Baina and friends, in collaboration with Pan-African Daily TV, will be commemorating this particular battle. Uh, the specific moment in our history is that during the revolution, of course, many battles were fought. And every battle is important because in every battle, people were maimed, families were broken, blood was spilled, and soldiers fell, freedom fighters fell. But this particular battle, the specific about this particular battle, is that we find ourselves, less than 1,000 of us, besieged in a fort by more than 12,000 French soldiers. And the French were convinced that within the hour, they would crush us, turn us into porridge. But we lasted 22 days fighting. And as far as I'm concerned, every day we survived, every night we survived was one more victory. So to me, this battle, we have to understand, is it represents 24 victories. Because when you take just the numbers, the sheer numbers, the situation, you will be besieged. You quickly run out of food, out of water, out of ammunition, and yet you persist and continue to fight. We are less than 1,000 in that fort, and yet the French count minimum 3 to 5,000 dead. How did we do it? What was the strength? What was the power that enabled us to continue to fight without water, without food? What kind of determination, what kind of resilience was present in that fort? So that is why, and Fondation Félicité, every year we celebrate that moment. We want to instruct ourselves, we want to nourish ourselves from that kind of determination, winning against all odds.
I'm sorry. Um, on the slogan of today, or of this week on Magulifcation, it is stated, and actually is Bishop Maponga, King Maponga, who came up with this slogan to say, we have lost a great leader, but we have gained an ancestor. And you are telling us every soul lost of a great leader is a fight. It is an eye opener for Africans worldwide that we have to continue, pick the battle from where they left it, but that we must win and we are winning. Over to you, Prof. Professor?
Keep certain people from stealing our wealth. We're fighting the battle, re-educating ourselves and becoming ourselves again so we can defend our own interest. We're fighting intellectual battles, we're fighting artistic battles. So there are battles everywhere and every day. And if we don't understand that no matter your field, you yourself, you are a freedom fighter. The work that you are doing of bringing us on one platform, wherever we may be, to talk of our various fights, wherever they are, whatever they are, whatever form they take, you are a freedom fighter. So it is important for each one of us to understand that we are freedom fighters, no matter where, and we must learn the lessons of the soldiers that fall. So a great soldier has fallen, someone who had vision, someone who was looking into the future, someone who was defending our resources. So we have to learn the lessons and we must apply them better, stronger, deeper, so we can add our victories to the victories of our ancestors. Yes, we lost a fighter, we lost a leader, but we gained an ancestor. An ancestor is a powerful being.
And so there is this idea that Africans, particularly because we've been into different systems and forms on the continent. And that's why when we even say we have gained an ancestor, what does that actually mean? How should Africans understand when they see, they cry, they wail? And we keep saying, no, he was a messenger. He came, he delivered, he has joined our ancestors. It is difficult because this word ancestors have been blacklisted, have been bewitched by the colonizers to make it understand as our ancestors are witches, like because he has transited, he has no use again. That's why we cry and mourn and tear ourselves. Can you just educate us on that, Prof?
Well, first of all, we have to understand our own worldview. Some people view life as matter. Until you can see it, it doesn't exist. That is not our worldview. In our worldview, we existed in the immaterial, the invisible world first. And for example, in Yoruba tradition, we went before a jury in the invisible world, and we requested permission to come and experiment the visible world. And when granted, we have to say what we're coming to do. If you have no reason, they're not going to grant you permission to take a body. So we ask permission and it's given. And at that moment, we choose. In my case, I suppose I wanted to go to IT. My mother has 7 daughters, each born in a different country. I am the only one born in IT. So obviously, that must have been the choice I made. And so I have a sister born in the Congo. I have a sister born in the United States. I have a sister born in Greece. I have all my sisters are born in different places. So their mission is different from mine. Therefore, I made a choice. And when I began to understand our own worldview, that we are born in a particular place for a particular reason with a specific mission, and we have a time to accomplish this mission. Some of us only need 24 hours. We do the experience of being born in 24 hours without sickness, with anything, we are gone. That's what we came here to do. Some of us, I've met people in Haiti who are 120, 125, 132, and in full capacities. They're still working. There is no government pension. There is no this, that, and the other. They have to struggle for their meal. They prepare their death. They buy their coffin before they go. They purchase the clothing they're going to go in. Some of them have it 20 years waiting for them to go. But they come in and they accomplish their mission. So that's why it is so important for us to know ourselves. Once you know yourself, you can understand your mission and you can stay on track and not let things distract you. So, as we look at our various freedom fighters around the world, when we look at people like Dessalines, when we look at people like Marie-Jeanne in Haiti, when we look at Thomas Sankara, when we look at Fidel Castro in Cuba, when we look at Lumumba in the Congo, these are people who came to accomplish. Each one of us have a mission, by the way. Each one of us, whether you know it or not, whether you lose touch with your mission in the life, but you came with a mission. And once you understand that, then you act accordingly and you do your best to accomplish the mission before you go. So coming into the visible world is going out of the visible world is not the end of life. You came from the invisible world into the visible world, and you go back to the invisible world. So that is why we talk about our ancestors, those who have come, experimented the material life, and then have gone back to the invisible world. And there we continue to be in communication with them if we do what has to be done. If Memory is the most important. The biggest power is the power of memory. When you are in a difficult situation, if you can call on others who had been there before you and solved that type of problem, then you will have their support in solving what is in front of you right now. That's what the ancestors are all about. So as we get up in the morning, if we call on Marijan, we call on Sankara, we call on Nkuma, we call on Dasaline, their force, their strength, their power will nourish us and help us to do what we When I'm dealing with finances, I usually think of Mansa Musa. I usually think of King Henry of Haiti, who knew how to make money make money. So we call on those who had done this before us, and they guide us in our decisions as we do it now. So we are never alone. If all the living beings around us go away, we're still not alone. And if we know that the ancestors are with us. We know which ancestors to call for specific situations. We will always be victorious.
Ah,
But when we are conditioned into other people's worldview, and we are thinking, oh my goodness, he's dead. That's the end of that. Everything is finished. No, no. One soldier fall, the other soldiers continue the fight. We have to be clear on the objective and work hard at getting to victory.
consciousness. Queen, Prof, you're just teaching, and we are on the week of Magulifcation, and this what we teach, or according to this week, is consciousness, knowledge of us and self, which is actually you. And the question goes like, now we've had these ancestors. All of them were fighting for the freedom of Africans. All of them were fighting for the liberation. All of them fought for unity and love and peace. And like you said, they come just for a short time, they accomplish and they go. Now, what is left for us to know on their mission that they brought? Those that will still be in the physical.
Well, that's where artistry is the key. In order for me to know where this particular ancestor reached, what point he reached on his work on the objective, I have to know the objective. I have to know where he got to so I can know where to pick up the work at. So when we don't have the knowledge of artistry, or we have a distorted artistry written for us by our enemies, or we have all kind of structures that come in and break, and that's usually what happens in many of our fights. Uh, this particular ancestor was doing this particular work. You take, for example, Lumumba or Dessalines. It's the same story in two different places. So you have Lumumba, who's working for Congo's independence. He's fighting for Congo's independence. Yes, with words, not with guns like Dessalines. Dessalines did it with guns. Lumumba was doing it with words. And ultimately, the enemy got a hold of Lumumba. And what did they do? They slaughtered him in the most horrible way. And no body to bury, no this, no that. Why? It's not against Lumumba, it's against us. So we would be afraid to continue the fight. That's why our leaders are assassinated. To stop us in our track, to put fear where there was knowledge, to put fear in place of courage, to put fear in place of determination. So then, what happens? Everybody lined up with the enemy's program. And then the objective is derailed. That's what happens. So If we understand that, we have to understand every time a soldier falls is a very dangerous moment for our people as a whole, because there is a chance that the work will be destroyed and the advancement, the progress will be stopped. So we must understand that as we grieve, freedom fighters don't have the right to be overwhelmed by grief. No, we must cry with one eye and keep one eye open. We must grieve with determination, keep our grief under control, and keep our eye on the objective of that soldier. If that soldier was aiming at this particular thing, then me who's closest to him or her, I have to put myself in position to continue to aim that particular thing. Being able to focus on the objective, the last objective that the falling soldier was about. That's the biggest honor we can give to an ancestor, is to materialize his incomplete objective and not allow the enemy's bombarding, the enemy's fear, the enemy. Today they have media power to turn our ancestor into all kind of monsters. They have book power, film power. We must stay steadfast. We must remember. That's why it's important for all of us to understand. As we stand on this planet today, we are all freedom fighters. Whether you're working in the economic field, whether you're working in the media field, whether you're a teacher in the classroom, you are a freedom fighter. And you must understand that the companion to your left may fall, the companion to the right may fall, the entire row in front of you may fall. You must continue. That is what is important. So today, as our people in Tanzania, our brothers and sisters in Tanzania are facing the falling of a soldier, they have to understand it is vital to tighten up the unity. It is vital to strengthen the traditions. It is vital to pursue the objectives. We must do this. We must put in a lot of discipline, courage, determination in everything that we do. Yes, we're in pain, but we cannot be overwhelmed by the pain. We cannot let ourselves go to crying and tears. We must keep our eye focused on the objective. And that's the biggest bouquet of flower we can give to President Magufuli, is to accomplish something he was about to do.
Queen Mother has spoken. The Queen of Haiti, the Queen of Africans worldwide have spoken. We have heard it, and we know that there's a queen that just succeeded. Is now the Excellency. And Queen Mother, it's appalling to see actually the time that he passed away and the time that, I mean, another function was already there. The head of state, our queen, is already there. Now, this is one of the strength, like you're saying. We sleep with one eye open. Don't be distracted. Don't let yourself to be caught up in that distraction. The more the challenge, the more the unity, even. The more the challenge, the more the unity, we embrace it. So
Yes.
the time, like you say, this is the time that we're living. Yes, we're grieving, but we should not lose focus. How much more can we getting now this transition in a very short time? I'm happy and we're so joyful. I can see the tears of the comments saying, Mother has spoken. And now I have been crying all day. Now I just wipe my tears and I'm smiling because he's made me pick up that frustration, that hopelessness, and I'm ready. And we all know we are freedom fighters. Queen Mother, Professor, Tell us more.
It is a great blessing that a Queen Mother Samia, will be taking the position, the deciding position. It is a blessing that we must take with great care because naturally women has a greater ability, more power. In fact, again, we're going to talk about March 25th. And
Yes.
March 25th, it's a Queen Mother, Marie Jeanne, who saved the day. It is a female warrior who took us out of the fortress. So, again, we see the same thing. Here is one falling soldier, a male soldier falls, and the Queen Mother. So, the more she will know about female warriors, the more she can do a blending of knowledge of Yas and Tewa, knowing about Nefertiti's fight, knowing about Cleopatra's fight. So as these will be like shields that she can put around herself, and that she will be better equipped to carry on the fight. She has certain advantages, but she should know that she is in a world which is anti-women. No matter what the propaganda says about equality, but those that dominate the world are not about it. Look at their countries. How many of them have with female at the head of the country?
Mhm.
Look at certain places that see themselves as the king of countries. How many female presidents have they had? Haiti has had, Liberia has had, but other
Mhm.
people, we don't see them having. But they claim they're teaching equality. So we have to be very careful in looking at facts, not just listening to propaganda. So our beloved Queen Mother Samia has to really take the time and get the essence of female leaders around the continent and around the world. Recently, I was reading that they noticed that in Europe, all the countries that were headed by a female handle the starring disease better than those who were headed by a male. So this kind of information is vital for us to understand the forces that we have as women. And if we use our forces properly, if we focus on the essence as women usually do, then we can make our countries, we can take them to higher and higher level faster because we have the natural ability to nourish, a natural disposition to teach, to transmit information. And when we are on the battlefield, generally, we are so much more focused on getting things done than others. So I really, all my prayers go to Queen Samia in Tanzania that she can make Cleopatra, the best of Cleopatra, rise within her. Or better yet, Al-Habia in Ethiopia, who stopped Alexander the Greek from entering Ethiopia with her female army sitting on elephants without even raising her hand. She just stood at the frontier when she heard they were coming with her entire 1,000 female army on elephants. And when Alexander looked at them, made a couple of attempts to jump and go over to them, then was stopped by just her look. And he decided, we don't need Ethiopia, let's go. So, Queen Sister Samia, I wish you the very best. May all of the best ancestor warriors guide you. But to get the guidance, you need to know some about their history, what they did. And you will be inspired to jump over certain obstacles, slide under other obstacles, and fight only the battles you have to fight. But the key is to build the unity of the Tanzanian people, to stay on track with the best objectives, and you will have all the help, and certainly you will have from my heart, from my soul. I will be sending all the energies that I can your way.
Absolutely. Queen Mother, we appreciate you, Professor. I mean, 25th of March, what do we expect? What would your audience here on the Pan African Daily expect to
Well,
hear? What is it that they should be looking forward to? It's a liberation commemorating, and it's the same day that we're laying to rest our ancestor, Excellency Magufuli. It's a landmark. It's a freedom day. What is it that the audience should expect to hear?
well, we essentially will illustrate, not just with words. We're making a lot of efforts to illustrate for you how our family in Haiti fighting three of these most forceful armies in the world, Spanish, the British, and the French, against all odds, retain that element. For each, if we round our number to 1,000 in the fort, and we accept the French number of 12,000 outside the fort, that means we were fighting 1 against 12. We're fighting people with no food against people well fed. We were fighting people run out of weapon against people with an immense quantity of the best weapons available. And we won. So we want to get to the essence of the principles established there by our ancestors so we can bring it into our life today. So whenever we find ourselves in situations of 1 to 12, 1 to 18, 1 against 24, we can still win. Victory is our purpose. We must condition ourselves. We must, first of all, cleanse ourselves of all the lies we've learned about ourselves from enemy books and films and theaters. And then we must recondition ourselves with our true knowledge of self and aim for freedom and victory all the time, everywhere, in every situation, in every field, in every area of our lives. That's what we hope to transmit to all those who will tune in on March 25th, 2021, to live and relive the victories of the Battle of Cretapiro in Haiti.
Thank you very much, Queen. What time? I mean, 25th is Thursday. On Thursday, what
That's
time?
right. It's Thursday from 1 to 3.
From 1 to 3. Now you got it.
One.
Thursday, 1 to 3. And it's exactly at that period where we're laying to rest our Excellency John Pombe Magufuli, and Professor Baina would be live to accompany us with this victory and the success that all is not lost. We learn from the past and we take it into the future. We want to thank you very much, Prof, for being here. Thank you, and we see you on Thursday. Do you have one last word to share with Africans that are just broken, that are collapsing because of this? Leave us with just, you already said it, but just leave us with a cuckoo. Just leave us.
It is my pleasure to present my condolences to the families, all the family members across the world, because the Pan African world is mourning So I do present in particular, my condolences to the people of Chateau, his hometown. But I must remind you, I am obliged, I am duty bound to tell you that freedom fighters do not put down their weapons when one or two or 1,000 soldiers fall. We have to do them the honor, the greatest honor we can do to those who fall is to carry on the fight. So we must up our courage. We must up our determination. We must up our discipline, our unity. But we must carry on the fight. We cannot lay down and cry. We cannot afford it when we have a nation and a people's survival and safety to take care of. We cannot afford it. During the time of mourning, we must double up the security of our natural resources. They often disappeared in these situations. We must double up the protection of our children and women and elders. We must increase security in our nations at the time of mourning. We cannot afford to lay down and cry. We cannot afford to close both eyes or let tears fill both eyes at the same time. We must protect the future. So, those who fall, that's part of life. They have to fall.
Okay. We lost her voice, her microphone. Okay. We can't hear you anymore, but I think the message was passed because you have to take on another appointment and we have to also take in the other guests. Thank you. If you can hear me from there, thank you very much. And we see us on Thursday, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Europe time. Anyway, we're going to send the posters out because we also would be announcing the memorial service of His Excellency John Pombe Magufuli. Yes. So I want to thank all of you that tune in, and we'll continue the program as follows. One thing that our Queen Mother said, and we all learned, is this victory time. Tanzanians, the government of Tanzania and the people of Tanzania and Africans worldwide, one message on Magufulication from Professor Baina Bello from Haiti is, in times like this, make sure you stay focused because the enemy comes down when you're broken. When you're mourning, that's when the thieves come in. That's when they rape, they abuse, they steal, even your minerals. So while we're mourning our statesman, the son of Africa, make sure your eyes are open. Make sure your borders are secured. Yes, because this is a distraction also, particularly when we are weak and broken. That's when even diseases attack us, you know. So I thank all of you for connecting and watching from all our platforms. It's a massive week for us, and we're going to continue. Any ancestor that will leave us, we're going to be here for 1 week, just like we African people do. In East Africa, I want to congratulate all of you out there for taking the 14 days, yes, to sit in for His Excellency John Pombe Magufuli. And any other time that will happen to any ancestor anywhere, be it in the diaspora or on the continent, it is the same sit-in that we're going to do. Now, I just saw my YouTube followers saying, I didn't even know that Dr. Susan was on today. Yes, we have switched the time because we're focusing on the continent. And most of our brothers and sisters on the continent actually did not catch up to us in the morning. So be aware, our times have changed. We are on 9 a.m. Eastern American time, 10 p.m. Caribbean, and respective hours. Like Haiti is connecting, it was 11 a.m. out there. So we are moving forward and orientating ourselves to our brothers and sisters on the continent, most of whom, as you know, the crisis out there cannot even put enough data, and to stay up again to watch us. So get used to this time. I have research and we have research, and Magufuli just tell us to be flexible and catch up with the time. King Bishop Maponga told us about know the seasons, that we should know the seasons. Yes, so we are in that season now where we need to be more awoke, we need to be more flexible, we need to be more aggressive in uniting ourselves and our values and the Magufuli of Africa. Now, while we're waiting on the next guest to connect, I will just continue to play the video and that we watch, but you can call in. You can call in and share your condolences to the people of Tanzania and to Africans worldwide. It is our week. It is going to be our period. But before I play this video, I want to clarify one lie or one conspiracy theory. This time not from us. No, this time not from us. Now, we just played the video of the public viewing. And so those people or some narratives are going out there that, because he died of the pandemic. No. There is no statement that has been, apart from the president, Excellency Samia, who actually told us. And we see it from the examples. If he died of the pandemic, there would be no laying in state. If he died of the pandemic, there would be no public viewing, and most of whom, as you watch. So please make sure you stay focused. Of course, people do die. He came, left a mission and go. Let us stay focused on the goals, because most of the time, like our Queen Mother from Haiti said, we are so distracted. Now Africans will spend the next decade talking only about someone who killed him and forget our focus. Now he came and he died at the right time, and he left us with a mission to continue. I want to thank all of you that are watching, and yes, stop glorifying the negative narratives. Stop giving them all those points. No, we all know it. If it wasn't it, I don't know. Can anyone share with us any media that says differently or officially announce it differently? It was his time. Thank you very much. Our next guest is waiting right here. And while he comes up, I will just ask you to watch this short video again of the caravan that accompanied him. No, all right. Yes, before we get the guest.
Shukrani na hisi haitoshi, kalale pema shujaa. Taifa la kulilia, tutamani urudi tufosi, tumebaki na butwa. Tuseme ukweli ulituhusia, tufanye na ibada. Wanafunzi kufeli utakisikia, shule wasilipe ada. Za kisasa reli umetuachia, ya juu madaraja. Viwanda mandege mabombadia, mbona we hujavitumia baba? Baadaye, Magufuli baadaye, tutaonana baadaye, oh baadaye.
The entry. Malawi should consider themselves that they have two ports. One is Dar es Salaam, another one is Mtwara. And they are supposed to be utilized in the best directions. Actually, considering the distance from Lilongwe to Dar es Salaam, which is approximately 1,526 kilometers, and that distance from Lilongwe to Mtwara is approximately 880. So it's even very short. And Tanzania have been doing a lot to make sure that we facilitate these transportation corridors in order to ease business, our brothers in Malawi. That's why the road between Mtwara to Mbamba Bay is all tarmac. It have just left with a few kilometers. And of course, the road from Dar es Salaam to your area, to the border, is also tarmac. And we are now expanding the port of Mtwara. It will start working effectively by December. And actually the capacity is going to be increased from 400,000 tons to 1 million tons. And this, of course, due to the fact that we are considering our neighbors and our brother, Malawi. So from there, Malawi is not supposed to consider themselves as a landlocked countries, but you have the port, you have everywhere to transport your goods. You can even use the Tazara Railway to Mbeya. And of course, we have already started constructing the 52 kilometers from Songwe to Ireje. We have just left with 32 kilometers to Matimbwi, Chitipwi, Chitipa in Malawi. So all things which actually they are supposed to be conducted as far as business is concerned between Tanzania and Malawi is so cleared. And actually today I have instructed my people, TPA, to start a new office in Lilongwe, so that business people from Lilongwe, they are not supposed to come all long way to Dar es Salaam, but they should finish their things in Lilongwe. I was just quoting these few words of communications, but the best way to communicate with you is Swahili, and I know you can speak Swahili very well because you have been a bishop and you have been preaching in the word of Swahili as well in Tanzania. Kwa hiyo narudi tena kwenye Kiswahili kidogo nimalizie, Mheshimiwa Rais, ili kusudi
Now, it was very important for me to play this short speech before I bring in our next guest who is already here. Why? Because the third message that we take in here today, remember I've given you two messages. He was a president for the poor. He was a president who taught us that Africans, you can do it by yourself with what you have. With what you have. And then the third message that we're getting through this video that we just watched was that, you know, he promoted intertrade. That was a vision of a great African. And you saw him explaining what he has put, the infrastructures to bind neighboring Malawians, you know, and neighboring countries in the continent. This blueprint is what he has left. There is just not going to be any excuse, particularly for you young people. We are going. Yes, we don't even know who is going to be the next. Tomorrow, maybe you're not going to see Dr. Susan, aka Nana F, sitting here. It's possible, even tomorrow. Yes, but what we have to learn is this. What we have to learn is, how do we take this blueprint and multiply them so that Caribbeans don't say, we're waiting for an airline. So the young people in the Caribbean start creating and say, how did the boats leave the west of Africa to come to the Caribbean island and deposit all our people out there? So that Americans or African Americans don't begin to say, oh no, we're waiting for repatriations before we go home. No, it is just time that we start thinking that if a leader as this could already put it in that structures and say, we can do it without any support and cut on the expenses of his own people, particularly his own salary and even his workers, you know, sidelining and downsizing all these costs to be able to create wealth. So what more else do we need? What kind of agenda do we even need? What kind of Africa do we need? I think the message is so clear. Irrespective of how short it has been, the message is clear to us Africans, the poor. We can make it by ourselves with what we have. Welcome with me our next guest, who is sitting here, and he is the president and the founder of the Institute of Leadership Institute in South Africa. Now, he is here to share the vision of a great leader and his leadership model. What is it that we Africans can learn on the Magufulication of leadership on this Magulifcation week? Welcome with me, Dr. Nkoma Emmanuel. Greetings.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Susan, on this very day. We are well, and how are you there?
As you can see, all of us are all eyes on Tanzania, all eyes on the continent, and Africans worldwide. Yes. Thank you very much for being with us. Yeah. So how are you out there in South Africa? We have seen the situation in East Africa is definitely not the one that we can speak, whether it's East, South, North, West, or the diaspora. It is the same feelings that Africans are breaking down. You know, some have gone for days without, like me, I've just lost appetite ever since this news broke last year. And I don't know, what is the situation out there?
For us here in South Africa, it has been a series of mental trauma and where emotionally we have been drained. Not only this week, but the previous week we just lost Bayede Isilo Samabanta, the king, Goodwill Zwelithini, a man who united the nation, a man who was a true African leader, a man who really dreamed to see the African people govern themselves, you know. And just as we are still in that period of mourning a great leader and putting him to rest, then we receive another blow where the great man, John Pombe Magufuli, passes on. This has been really, for us at the Institute of African Leadership, we had to reflect on the lives of two great giants in a very short period of time. And so it hasn't been easy, not only for South Africa, but for the continent at large, because currently I'm traveling and I'm coming to you live from Zambia at the moment. The atmosphere, when they just announced that Magufuli is gone, the atmosphere of the people of Zambia as well was why, you know. But these questions of why, they are always never answered when it comes to death, because it's part of our lives, and it will never be, used to it, because we don't expect it to happen to those that are at the helm of leadership, and those that we admire, and those that inspire us, those that give us so much hope for this great continent. So for us at the Institute, and also on my own behalf, it has been really a heartbreaking season, a challenging moment for the people of Tanzania. We are all saying to them, it's time to rise in power. Heroes never die, they rise in power. When one hero is fallen, thousands are raised. So we are looking forward to see Tanzania begin to be governed so well. You know, Dr. Susan, not too long ago, I was on SABC when John Pombe Magufuli just won the elections, and they called on me to speak on his inauguration, and we were talking on his inauguration, making commentary and political analyzing, and looking at what kind of leadership Pombe Magufuli was bringing, not only just to Africa, to Tanzania, but also to the continent. He was a role model to many politicians, and not just politicians, even those that aspire. He was another Kwame Nkrumah. When we looked at Pombe Magufuli, we saw the rise of Kwame Nkrumah in him. And so we are saying we will not give up. And the words that we have for the African people, we are saying it's time to rise in power, because this man stood for the people of Africa. Dr. Susan, you know, many politicians go into power for the sake of their stomachs, but not this one. John Pombe Magufuli, you could see When he went into office his first term, he declared to cut his salary half. And he said, let all his ministers follow suit. He cut all his international trips and says, let the ministers also follow suit so they can have reserves, they can save the money so that their country can begin to take shape and direction. How many African leaders who we have like that? I always dream of an Africa that Magufuli dreamt of. I dream of an Africa where the leaders will go into office not because they want to enrich themselves. I dream of an Africa where people look at politics not as self-enrichment, but rather a vehicle to developing our great continent. So we are saying to the people of Tanzania, there is hope for tomorrow. There is hope for tomorrow. So Dr. Susan, thank you so very much for according me also this opportunity to pay our condolences to the people of Tanzania, not only the people of Tanzania, the whole globe of the Pan-Africanists and the post-Pan-Africanists around the world. We are saying it's not just time for us to mourn. Let the Pombe Magufulis rise in us so we can govern ourselves well.
It couldn't be said better. I mean, on the other point, we see that Tanzania has just been blessed with a visionary and you know, some people in other countries where the leaders are still not really awoke, they don't even know what to do. But this one, it's like a fire that came and just spark, and now the people catch this fire. And that's why we say it's a Pan-African president, because it's not only for the people of Tanzania, but for Africans that are conscious Africans. Now, you from your institute of leadership, do you have any fear like, this must have been something that happened because it is so you changing your leadership model, or you're saying, oh no, it is even the more reason why we need to even gang up now and do it more better?
You know, I was sitting down with the board of directors on our Zoom conference, our virtual meeting, to discuss about the passing on of John Pombe Magufuli. And one of the things that was rising was a very simple question. How come? That was the first one. How come? The second one is Magufuli has been not just a role model, but he has been adamant on the African solution for African problems.
Absolutely.
He has looked at it. He has looked at it and said, we can solve our problems. And he did not bend to the imperialists who would want to control us and would want to say, oh, come on, move this side and move that side. Magufuli took a stand. But we are saying to ourselves, it's time for us to rise. When Magufuli is gone, let his death be an inspirational to us. I call it the fire in Magufuli's bones. You know, that which was driving Magufuli to do more for the people of Tanzania is what we are looking forward to see in the countries that are being governed by a lot of African leaders. And we are looking forward to see to it that let people begin to rise. Let us emulate his style of leadership. The leadership style of Magufuli at the Institute, we define it as servant leadership. We define it as servant leadership not because of anything. Why we say servant leadership? It's because Magufuli, despite of him being president, you could see him several times, him participating in a number of activities that would be taking place. He was not ashamed to wear an overalls and help building. He was not ashamed when he's in a religious service for him to go around and collect offerings from the people. He was not ashamed to stand in the street and be able to encourage the poor people that there is hope for tomorrow. So Magufuli was a servant leader. He was a leader who put his people first. He was a leader who put Africa first before he puts anything else before his people. He knew also that he is there because of the people of Tanzania. And much more, he began to bring light, like rightly you have said. It was just like a spark of fire that came, boom, and all of a sudden it's gone. But what we have to say to ourselves, you know, Dr. Tata, when you put the fire, so then you have to understand that there must be now the core that has to begin to burn. The spark comes and starts the flame. After the flame, there must be the core that catches the fire. It's what we're gonna use to cook. Us in Africa, we cook using sticks, we cook using fire. So it's that core that's gonna get red hot. But it's
Okay. Did we lost him? Hello? Can you hear me? Any video? There should be another video in. I think we just lost him. Is he in the stream? All right. Okay, I think we lost him out there. He's in South Africa, so anything can happen. Technique, whatever, could let us down. So I'm opening up the lines as I see a lot of people have been waiting to call in to share their condolences. I want to thank all of you for watching, and I hope we've got the message for today. Tomorrow we're going to have the next speakers that will be coming up all along the week, and please stay connected to us. If you have a message for Tanzanians, if you want to share your point of view, if you want to contribute to the program, please call our WhatsApp number on +49 1578 211 2379. The lines are open, WhatsApp only, please. Yes, I also had some comments of people who were like, are the programs changing? No, the programs are not changing. The programs only delayed because of technique setbacks. And we also have been hearing even a lot of people that are having such challenges on the continent and in the diaspora as well. So it can also still happen that, your calls will not go through. If you are trying to reach us, as I see most are struggling, just understand that it is just a problem of technique. It is not due to us. And so if we would not get this through, that we'll be rounding up for today to start up in the next week or Sunday's program exactly at the same time with the guests that we're going to announce tomorrow. As we know, there are a lot of guests that are signing up, and warm greetings, particularly to you out there watching from Kenya on the PLO Lumumba Foundation page. Yes, even Professor PLO would be coming to address us this coming week. Date and time would be confirmed. He is more busy. They're trying to put out structures out there. And currently, yes, as you know, all the leaders are getting around on this particularly important event that is going on. So some will be joining earlier, some will be joining later, but we're going to bring you live those that are signing in to share this with us. So I want to thank you. Yes, I can pick the calls. The calls are not getting through. I see them coming, but when I can't even pick them myself. So something is definitely wrong. Like you see, even a brother that was kicked out. And yeah, even us, we were more than half an hour late into this conversation. I don't even know whether you're still even alive. Are you still even hearing me? Are you there? Can you hear me? Right. Yeah, a lot of stuffs are going on. And like I said, yes. But I just want to share this last video with you of, how Tanzanians are heartbroken, how most of them, it could not just stand it. I have to figure this out. And I know it is the plight of us Africans all. All right. Hello? 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 I picked your call. As you can see, it's not going through. Can you hear me? Hello? All right. This is social media platform, and It's not as stable as we're saying, and that's why we're saying we need to own our own place, our own spot, and our own satellite and our own networks, so we can be free to share our communications. We can be free to celebrate the loss of our heroes. We can be free to openly speak up what we think. Yeah. So if you're watching us, you need to support us. As you can see, we have a GoFundMe link and a PayPal link, which you can contribute for us to actually put this work. This media unites us all in the diaspora and on the continent for a united Africa agenda. We all know that. And so it's about time that we control and celebrate our heroes like His Excellency Magufuli. So I would just try if it works again, but like I can say, hello. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, okay. Where are you calling from?
Well, I'm Tanzanian, but I'm calling you from South Africa.
Okay, go ahead.
But I'm from Tanzania.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Thank you. I hear you.
It is breaking. Just go ahead.
All right. Okay. I've been following. Thank you very much for the special speakers who have been with us, especially the Queen from IT. I think they really gave us very strong messages. However, what I'm getting here is that, this is the battle, between Africans and imperialists. And from where I stand, actually, to be honest, we are losing as Africans. We are losing because, we have leaders who come here to save us. But what happened is that we participate in getting them sacrificed. It tells me that even if Patrice Lumumba and Sankara could come back right now, we are still going to send them out and kill them. These people that passed away a long time ago, but they still get reincarnated and come back from other people, from Gaddafi, but we're still doing it the very same people. We all know the problem is the imperialists, but it's the sellouts, Africans, fellow brothers and sisters, who are cooperating with imperialists to destroy Africa. And I really wanted to ask the Queen from IT, maybe we understand the IT revolution. That is what we need. Should the people from IT come back to Africa and help us? Because if we don't, Africa is gone. Chinese are taking over. Europeans are taking over. Americans are taking over. Talking about Magufuli, people are busy, spreading propaganda, saying he passed away from the pandemic. That is not true. They are saying he passed away from, the cardiac arrest. Partially true, but I'm going to tell you, Magufuli was once poisoned when he was a minister. That was in the early 2000s. He was the president. He got admitted in the hospital. Thank God he was okay. And then he went back to the then president and requested if he can stop anything to do with the government, rather let him focus and just be a teacher. The then President Mkapa said, no, this is the motivation. Go pray. This is motivation. God created you. He gave you the capability to save your people. You cannot be cowards and leave your people just because some evil want to kill you. They couldn't. They lost, which means God with you. Go ahead, I'm behind you. Magufuli never lost hope. He continued, you can see. But this time, we lost him. The same fate, we know Chinese, we know Europeans, we know Americans, in cooperation with black African sellouts, they participated in this. We can sit here and be politically correct and they say this and that, but the truth is, we need to have a structure to protect our people. Because we are going to be doing the very same thing. Our resources are the ones which are putting our life in risk. Right now, Nobody is motivated to be even a leader in Africa again. We have this lady, Mama Samia. I know she can do it. I do trust my women. Women are always very, very strong. They can do it. But the thing is, what is the support behind that lady? Is she prepared to put her life again, to sacrifice her life again? Magufuli knew that he was going to die. He said in public, like, you know what, guys, I'm doing it for my people, for the poor people. I know I will die. But that is going to deter me from working for you. But who is going to do that again? People are not motivated to do it again. Because if you tried it, you're going to die. You understand? We do not get motivation from words. We get motivation from deeds. Magufuli's deeds. We are going to motivate everybody, every country to do the best. But they don't do that. You understand? Because of our resources. Now we have all these powerful people, Africans in the diaspora, in America, in Jamaica, in India. They are doing nothing. They are just sitting there, and Africa is going. Chinese are taking over. People must be understanding this. This generation is continuing to fail Africa. Once in a time, we have been very powerful in the world. Somebody in between, there is a generation which fled Africa. We didn't end up in slavery. We lost it. But now this current generation is even doing worse. Because now the freedom sellout is even increasing every day. Go to Kenya, sell out full. South Africa, sell out full. You cannot do anything to advance Africa until the people in the diaspora, our brothers and sisters from Jamaica, from America, from India, come back to Africa. Let's do your people. Otherwise, Africa is gone. And therefore, if you can please, one more request to you, Professor Tata, could you please invite Minister Farrakhan from the USA? He's your black brother. This man has got an action plan which you can easily implement in Africa and protect our country, because this is a big war. There's no joke in this. Do you understand?
Thank you.
And on that note, if please you can speak to Professor Baina, the one that you I want to ask you directly, but please ask on my behalf. Are the people of Haiti prepared to come back to Tanzania? We can do anything to have them back. You understand? We can do anything to have them back, because we know their spirit is very, very strong. People of Haiti, they're listening to me, please come back to Tanzania. Please help us. This war is bigger than you think.
Thank you.
BBC, Al Jazeera, we are busy sending propaganda everywhere, saying Magufuli underplayed the COVID. That's why he's dead. Why? Because they want to push their agenda to show that, oh, the guy who was saying COVID can be controlled in the African way is dead. So
okay.
What happened? Which means Africa should be ready to be vaccinated. That's wrong. And
Thank you.
Africans stop listening to BBC. Those people are full of propaganda. People working for BBC, they're actually black, and some of them.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. I have to pick up the next call. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello. 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 Thank you very much, brother. I think we have to pick up the next. Go ahead. Hello. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, if you pick, if you call, make sure you turn off the other volume. If not, I won't hear you. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm from Nigeria.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, I guess you are online. You are doing an online program right now.
Yes, we're live.
Okay. What I want to say is about Africa. You know, why is it that Africa cannot produce a vaccine by themselves? Why are we depending on the Western world? Country like China, country like America, country like South Korea. is it that always we depend on this white man?
Okay.
They are ruling our life. Yes. I think Africa is the older food enough to get, to get their vaccine. Depend on themselves, what can do. I believe that we can do it.
All right.
Why is it that we can't get a common vaccine?
That's the question all of us are asking. So it's just a question of when we say Africa, why can't we? Who is Africa and which Africa should do it?
We are the Africa. We are the Africa. Our leaders, they are not doing well. They are not doing good.
Mm.
Huh?
All right.
All these things, Africa is a whole enough. We are very, very old enough to be backward in such,
All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your contribution. And yes, we're just struggling because the lines are breaking and we can actually get the course go through. We'll be live again tomorrow, so you can join us. Okay. Thank you. I love and regard to the people in Nigeria. All right. I think we'll be rounding up because it's just so annoying that we can't get the course go through. And yeah. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon or good morning, good night.
Whatever it is, good to you. Yes, good to us. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Teresa Juba speaking. I'm originally from Republic of South Sudan, but I'm based in New York. I want to thank you for this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I'm calling to send my condolences to the people of Africa
Mm-hmm.
in general, but particularly to the people of Tanzania
Mm-hmm.
for this great loss of our lion, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli.
Yeah.
Really, I want to say that we are all touched because John Magufuli, he really reminds us with our forefathers, all those great leaders who fought for independence in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm therefore here. I want to send the people of Tanzania that they should keep it strong. We have the assistant who was in the office with him.
Mm-hmm.
They made a great change in Tanzania in less than 6 years, and we have attached this. That's why we are all bleeding. And John Pombe actually has reminded us as a new generation of Africa
Mm-hmm.
that we can make it if we keep it straight, if we respect the law, if we fight the corruption,
Mm-hmm.
if we love our country,
Mm-hmm.
and if we are loyal to our nation and to our people, all over the Africa. We actually lost a great leader,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I'm here as a sister, as a daughter of Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm proud to be in this your forum, my dear sister.
Mm-hmm.
I always follow you.
Thank
I
you.
also have a channel that I run
Okay.
on Facebook. It's called Our Diversity.
Our diversity.
It's for South, the people of South Sudan. As you know, that we also facing some problem
Oh yes.
in South Sudan. But as a new generation, we want to fight for a better South Sudan and better Africa, and the Black people as whole.
Beautiful. Sister, I'll get in touch with you and we'll have to get a one-on-one with you to know about your channel and your work for the people of South Sudan. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, apart from some other few, but to get young ladies like you coming up, fighting freedom fighters like Baina said, Professor Baina said, we're all freedom fighters. It will be a pleasure to have you on the Pan-African Daily as a guest. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sister. And I want the people of Tanzania to keep it strong and to trust our sister, our mother, Samia. Now she's in the office.
Yes.
And I'm sure she will do it better if we all support her.
Correct.
And I want to say, rest in peace or rest in power,
Mhm.
Papa John Magufuli.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so we have lost him, but we have gained another leader and we have gained an ancestors. It is left upon us now to support her and to give her all the mandatory support that she needs. Hello? Hello.
Hello, my name is Mary.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mary.
Good evening. I'm from Kenya, but currently I'm based in Austria.
Okay.
I really like your show. Every time I watch it to you, but I've never gotten a chance to speak to you.
Mm.
Yeah, today I'm glad. What I would like to say is that we will not every time we Africans point finger to the leaders. We should ask ourselves, we as youths, what have you done to make an improvement in Africa? So if you do something, if I do something from my side, like to improve one or two lives of other people, then Africa will change like that. But if we continue pointing fingers on our leaders, then we will not do anything, because some of our leaders are already corrupted with a lot of things, so we can't continue like that.
Very, very true. Very true, Mary.
Yeah, and I would like also to send my condolences to the people of Tanzania for losing our lovely President Magufuli.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are together.
We are together, sister.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you, Mary.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, you're live. You're connected.
Hello.
Yes, just go ahead.
I'm Lutesta calling from Namibia.
Okay.
I'm Lutesta calling from Namibia. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good.
Hello.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say, rest in power, Comrade Pombe Magufuli.
Mm-hmm.
You have been truly an exemplary leader in the entire continent of Africa.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, greetings.
Yes, greeting, African Daily Team.
Thank you.
So I'm calling from Dhaka, Bangladesh.
From Bangladesh.
I'm a Cameroonian. Yes, I'm Cameroonian by nationality, and I'm studying engineering there.
Okay.
So I am like mostly in shock this week for the loss of our president, John Pombe Magufuli.
Mm-hmm.
It was an eye-opening for me. Since December 2019, I have watched a lot of speeches, and it's really like encouraging me to pursue so much goals in my life.
Yeah, it is hard.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so it's so hard. It even like pushed me to learn this Swahili, like to like starting learning this Swahili language in order to understand some of his speeches in Swahili. You know, most of his speeches are in Swahili.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So, as an African youth, now my dream is all about the motherland. After my graduation, I'm trying to also put the change that we want to see.
Thank you very much.
Future.
Thank you very much.
For having me.
Thank you for also joining us. Yes, as Africans, as you can see, the fire of Magufuli is catching young Africans, women, children, all, everywhere. You can hear from Sister Mary's voice from Austria. You heard from our sister from South Sudan. in the United States. You heard from the brother now from Bangladesh. Everyone is boozed up. So we can say it's not lost. We're gaining more power. Yes, we're getting more power, more energy, and even more vision, and the need to continue to find. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
My name is Alex. I'm originally from Congo, but I live in the US. And I'd like to say something about the president of Tanzania.
Go ahead.
So basically, one thing we can do as Africans is to be like him, to dream more like being like him, as he was a good leader, just like Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso. So him leaving us, and with everything he did for his country, it's just a reminder how we should be, how we should love our country and dream to be like him, to change our continent of Africa.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have to copy, we have to emulate, we have to implement. Thank you so very much for calling.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Are you on the program, right?
You're calling live on the program, sir. Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you for having me.
So what is your contribution?
Yeah, I'm coming. I say I'm a Gambian, but I'm residing in Cyprus right now.
Okay.
Just also want to give my contribution on the demise of our Pan-African leader, John Pombe Magufuli.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for calling in.
Our condolences to the entire Tanzanian people, our brothers and sisters, and the whole African Black community as a whole. We are with you, Tanzanians, in this very sad moment of yours. We feel your pains, and we are all crying in our hearts because we've lost a very strong and great leader in Magufuli. But the struggles shall continue. We, the young ones, will take the mantle and still push and move forward.
That's the spirit.
Because we need to. We have no options anymore. We've run out of time. We've got to realize that time is no longer on our side. We've got to do what we've got to do, which is to be in the forefront, to be determined, Africa's self-determination, to have that vision in ourselves and the confidence and the willpower that it is time. We have no other choice, no other option but to take the mantleship that our forefathers, Pan-Africans who have laid the foundation, to take that mantleship and then move so that generations on will come and reap the fruits.
Correct. Absolutely. Correct.
We have no, sister, we have no option anymore because we've got to do what we've got to do or we're going to perish. Better way to say there's no more to sugarcoat it. Because every race or every civilization deserves to enjoy the gift of life.
Absolute.
And Africans for far too long have been drilled. Some partly by our own makings, but for most part because of the unfortunate misconduct being imposed on us by some other powers. This is a fact. But enough of the blame game. We cannot continue like this. For far too long we've suffered. We've got the resources in the natural resources and even human capacity. Now what we've got to do is to galvanize ourselves generally, not individually. Africans have to come to a realization that together, it's only together that we can win. Because together we are stronger.
Correct.
There's a sister who called from Austria talked about let's stop pointing fingers at our leaders. In some way, I would agree. because sometimes they see leaders are a reflection of the people themselves. But because they are the ones who are always in the table where decisions are made, and some decisions that are made have direct impact on where Africa is today. So that's why we cannot but also point fingers at those leaders who are selfless, are determined. They only see Africa's progress. We have to point fingers and pray to God that we have these leaders in every African country. The fear has to go away now through the window. We cannot. For how long can we be in this fear? If I stand upright, I'm going to be eliminated. If I stand upright, I'm going to be eliminated. This mentality has to be thrown out of the window. We have to see it together in one direction. That my sister in Germany and me here, if I let her alone be on the forefront, it's going to be eliminated. But if I stick by her, we become powerful. And when we are powerful, it will be difficult to be dismantled.
That's the spirit.
This should be across the board. Some, they say some leaders are sellouts. Some stand upright. Okay, maybe the ones that are sellouts or puppets, they might have the fear. If I want to be upright, just as Magufuli did, my fate will be like this. Eliminated, targeted, branded all kind of ways. But the fear has to go out of the window now. Please, my African leaders, brothers and sisters, let's see to it that when we all come together with the same fighting spirit and determination, even if we are all going to die, but there's going to be one person left who is going to see the progress of Africa. They can't kill all of us all together. But when we are separated in ideas, in our stance, it's easier for them to penetrate us. But let's stick together.
Okay. Thank you very much, bro. Yes.
Thank you so much, my sister.
Thank you. That's the spirit. That's the Magufuli system and the education that we need to know. We've been all charged up. Each leader goes down. We have to gather and we learn and we teach ourselves and we pick it up and go. The spirit that we don't want is the spirit of saying we are all finished. We are all this. We are all talking. We are not doing. If not of us, if they were so powerful that we think Africa would have been extinct long ago. Imagine, give our history, give our battles to any other continent, they won't survive it. Okay, so we are strong, we are powerful, we're destined to roar. We're humans, we're humanity, we're the cradle of mankind. So we cannot give up. If one goes down, 1,000, 1 million would arise. It has always been in the past and it always would be. One thing that I want to remind you, it's not only for us African people. Look at even all the revolutions that took place in the world before Europe became where it is today. How many battles? Even Germany. Germany, when did it just get its independence? Because sometimes we see as if it's only Africa, it's only us. The whole systems of the world also had to fight for their own liberation. They also had leaders like Napoleon Bonaparte, and they also had a lot of them. So yes, it is not going to be the first case. We have to pick it up. We have to fight. They also pick it up and they fought to get what they are. France today, we know about even just the price of bread that cost the French Revolution, the price in the bread, and all the women that went out. You all know, we read the history, the storming of the Bastille or whatever. We didn't even know our own history. They taught us this, right? But of course, it was like a preparation. So like Professor Baina said, it is time for us to pick up all our mantles and fight and know that every African or a Black person is a freedom fighter. Why? Because one represents everything. Even the leaders. Doesn't matter. You think you're rich today, you're an African. And a Black African, you're poor. That's it. That's the image. That's the message. That's the narrative. So until we all are collectively safe, we all are collectively strong and powerful, we all will be disregarded as subhumans. So we don't have a choice. We have to come together. It is not a choice. We must do it. and the time is right now. So I want to thank all of you for watching, for being on this program. We're going to join ourselves again live here. As we know, this is the Magulifcation week. I want to thank the team that has been running this afternoon. On the panel is Iya Babotata and Patrick Sirim, Naisha Melkon out there, and also assisted by Tumitata. So thank you so very much. We see ourselves tomorrow. I'm just going to play a couple of the videos that we have for those of you that missed it. And I want to really apologize for those whose call could not come in. Not my fault, technique as usual, whatever it is. But I also appreciate all of you that stood it and watched it up to this time and that your calls came to. So we meet ourselves tomorrow on the same topic. Nothing is breaking us down. We would continue. It is our responsibility. It is our time. So have a nice weekend. We see ourselves tomorrow. Continue to watch these videos and bye-bye.
Shukrani na hisi haitoshi, kalale pema shujaa. Taifa la kulilia, natamani urudi tufosi, tumebaki na butwa. Tuseme ukweli ulituhusia, tufanye na ibada. Wanafunzi kufeli utakisikia, shule wasilipe ada. Za kisasa reli umetuachia, ya juu madaraja. Viwanda mandege mabombadia, mbona we hujavitumia baba? Baadaye, Magufuli baadaye, tutaonana baadaye, oh baadaye.
Janeti pole, daima tuko nawe, tutayaenzi yote aliyotufanyia. Mungu wewe mkali, umechukua shujaa, basi mpokee Baba. Kwako udongo, ni udongo. Kwako Mungu sote tutarejea. Magu tutaonana, Magu tutaonana. Lala, Magufuli lala, lala, Johnny wetu lala, lala tutaonana. Salama, Magufuli imara, tunasonga kwa kasi sana, tuko imara, Tanzania salama, Magufuli imara, Mungu kwetu ni kimbilio, mti wenye matunda ya upigwao mawe daima, wenye mafanikio huibuka fitina, hatutetereki. Tanzania pamoja daima.
Unafuata sasa ni Muki na Baby Mada.
Shujaa mpambanaji uliyeshinda vita ya ofisi. Ala. Shujaa mpambanaji uliyeshinda vita ya ufisadi. Tanzania ilikuvesha taji ya uzalendo na upendo. Magufuli baba, baba, nyenyekevu, mwaminifu, mcha Mungu. Magufuli jembe
njema tunakuombea. Mungu milango kafungua, watoto vijana wazee, tunalia, kiza kinene kimeshaingia, simanzi imetutawala, kutoa kilio 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 kilio
DJ kidogo, tafadhali subiri kidogo. Aisee, ndugu zetu wananchi, tunaomba twende kwa utulivu kidogo. Naona upande wangu wa kushoto nikiwa natazama jukwaa la kuagia, watu wanasukumana sana. Tunaomba twende kwa utaratibu, kila mtu atapata nafasi. Muda bado upo, taratibu. Kwenye jukwaa sasa hivi anafuata Kala Jeremiah.
Zest is on this beat, ladies and gentlemen.
Wanangu sogeleni, wanangu nina jambo nalotaka waambieni. Muda wangu umetimu wa kuondoka duniani, na waachia usia wanangu kapenda nini. Na sisitiza tena wanangu kapenda nini. Ilindeni amani, kesheni mkisali, shetani asiwarubuni. Fungueni macho yenu ili muone ya ndani. Hakika nimetenda Mungu alionituma, nawaombea kwa Baba msije kurudi nyuma. Mshikamano wenu gurudumu kusukuma, msiumbishe mashua upepo unapopuma.
Wasia wako Baba unanichuma sana mpaka moyoni yoni, yale matendo yako nitaishi nayo kwangu rohoni. Hivi kweli unaenda, kweli unaenda, kweli unaenda Baba, hivi kweli unaenda Baba, unaenda, kweli unaenda Baba.
Sasa nazama chini, macho yangu juu ya mbingu. Roho inaponyoka mbele naona ukungu. Napita katikati ya uvuli wa mauti. Moyo wangu umechoka na mwili umahututi. Napigania nafsi na nia ni madhubuti. Na isaka pumzi yangu ya mwisho, sauti ya malaika wa zamu inanisisitiza. Naona mwanga juu lakini chini ni giza. Mbele yangu nayaona malango ya mbinguni. Niagieni ndugu zangu, tutakutana Kanaani. Tazama sasa nimezungukwa na ndugu, mikononi mwako Baba naiweka roho yangu.
Baba unanichoma sana mpaka moyoni yoni, yale matendo yako nitaishi nayo kwangu rohoni. Hivi kweli unaenda, kweli unaenda, kweli unaenda Baba, hivi kweli unaenda Baba, unaenda, kweli unaenda Baba.
Nimevipiga vita vilivyo vizuri, mwendo nimeumaliza, sasa nakata kauli. Shusheni mwili wangu sasa unataka kaburi. Roho yangu itayari kwenda masafa ya mbali. Maandiko msipuze mkajisome Zaburi, na nuru wamuhike kama jua la dhuhuri. Andaeni mapito watu wanene mazuri, pandeni mbegu za wema mkajipatie kivuli. Ndani ya moyo wangu nimewaweka muhuri, nitawapenda mpaka ukamilifu dohari. Ilindeni muungano, ilindeni jamhuri,
Let me say how glad I am to have had this opportunity to be invited by President John Pombe Magufuli to have this conversation. I was already in Kenya and I got a phone call to come back, and I did. And he is the first president in this continent who has taken the step to invite me at a very short notice to have a long conversation on Africa. I may have met other presidents, but this is unique. Unique in the sense that I've had the opportunity to have a conversation of nearly 1 hour with President John Pombe Magufuli. And what amazes me is the president's ability to explain in detail many of the things that have happened in the last 4 years in this 5th administration of the government of the United Republic of Tanzania. We have talked about what has happened in the area of infrastructure, what has happened in the education sector, what has happened in the health sector, what has happened in terms of international relations. And what has come out very clearly and what has impressed me is that the president has the pulse of the nation. He knows what is happening. He is able to state in detail what is happening in Iringa, what is happening in Mwanza, what is happening in Chalinze, what is happening in different sectors, and his appreciation of the fact that going forward, Africa can only realize our potential if her men and women are dedicated to do things that are in the best interest of the society. Some of the statistics that I've got from him, that when he assumed office, there were 20,000 ghost workers, 14,000 workers who did not have qualification. Once you have removed all these individuals from the payroll, that releases money for utilization in sectors that will benefit the society. I've also learned that in Tanzania, public workers now receive their salaries on the 23rd day of every month. And that is amazing. And as I've said, and I'll repeat again, when one is involved in such earth-moving changes, there'll be no shortage of people who will not see the beauty and the goodness of what is being done. But history is a fair judge. He is a judge that is able to identify the things that speak for themselves. So in the administration of President John Pombe Magufuli, what speaks for him, even if he chooses to remain silent? It is the bridges that have been built. They speak for him. It is the health facilities that have been built that speak for him. It is the increased enrollment in primary school and in universities that speak for him. It is the increment of the National Reserve that speaks for him. It is the efficiency with which funds are being utilized that speak for him. It is the discipline that now characterizes the conduct of the government of the United Republic of Tanzania that speak for him. It is the railways that are being built that speak for him. It is the improvement in the mining sector that speak for him. These things, when they speak more eloquently than words. And I am certain that that is the direction in which we should move. And there is something to be said about that administration. Focus, dedication, vision. And that is what Africa needs. That, to me, is the trick that will move Africa from the muck and mire of lamentation to the hard ground of implementation and the improvement of the quality of people's lives. Because after all is said and done, what is the purpose of government? Purpose of government is to create an environment where people can realize their potential and to provide for them in the critical areas of health, education, and of course, to ensure that there is food and opportunities for young men and women. And I believe that President John Pombe Magufuli is thinking in that direction when he talks about the fourth industrial revolution, when he talks about robotics and internets and the use of technology and transfer of technology for the betterment of the people of Tanzania. I've had a beautiful conversation. I've had an enlightening conversation. And I hope that in their wisdom, the people of Tanzania will make a decision that is favorable to give President John Pombe Magufuli 5 more years. He has not asked me to be his campaigner. That is my own thought. If I was Tanzania, I would say, jaribu tena ndugu rais. What is to magulify? To magulify, which we will not find in the English dictionary, but I hope it will find a place in the next issue of the dictionary, is to create an environment where resources are used efficiently, to create an environment where leadership is disciplined, and to serve one's country with dedication and in the spirit of patriotism. When you say and do that, then you have been magulified.
What has Tanzanians but entire Africa? Death has robbed us. Magufuli has gone. It has raided a selfless and courageous leader. The ambassador of Ubuntu is no more. A dark cloud has covered Africa. A hero has fallen. A Pan-Africanist has untimely left us. A gallant son of the soul has departed. Good people don't live longer, but their legacy lives forever. Heroes don't rest in peace, but they rest in power. God gives. God takes. Rest in peace, Magufuli. You are a God-fearing man. You awakened minds, bringing Africans together, enlightening and empowering Tanzanians, motivating people with respect, valuing everyone's input, welcoming mistakes as part of learning. You were clean, smart, and good, a true leader. You didn't think of yourself, but everyone. Rest in power, Magufuli. May your dear soul rest in power. You banned all foreign trips. You were declared a dictator for not taking orders from African enemies because you refused to bow down to them, because you are not a puppet or a toy leader. You never took loans from them. Revived, resuscitated, resurrected, revamped the Tanzanian economy. You tirelessly fought against corruption, injustice, and human rights abuse. Your policies were heroic before you were declared a hero. Rest in power, Magufuli. Those who came before you ran their race. You ran your race. We'll check from where you left and run our own race at an improved pace. Africa will be united one day. You are at least on safe hands. Tell Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, Thomas Isidore Sankara, Steve Bantu Biko, Samora Machel, the spirit of Ubuntu African unity is still our agenda and Pan-Africanism. If I had powers, I could have asked a few more years for you. If I had powers, I could have asked you to rise up and finish your unfinished business. But alas, I will just say, rest in power, my powerful comrade. Until we meet next time, rest in power, Magufuli John. We are all devastated by your loss. This is not a Magufuli family loss. This is not a Tanzanian loss. It's an African loss. An African pain, an African enemy gain. We exactly don't know what killed you. Only God knows why, how, and when. Africans shouldn't worry about God's program. Instead, they must get stronger and be united. The fight for African restoration still goes on. Everything will be all right. Rest in power, John Pombe Magufuli. Pumzika kwa amani, Khredola pa, then cancer and pass. Luanu dom, lalango olo. Rest in power, John Pombe Magufuli. Rest in peace, John. Rest in peace, John. Rest in power, John Pombe Magufuli. Rest in peace. May your dear soul rest in power. May your dear soul rest in power. Rest in peace, Magufuli. I am Obed Dube, the African poet.